All right. So for the 4 teams that lost last weekend, we're going to look at whether they overachieved, underachieved, or properly achieved. Let's start with the Dallas Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? 2 years in a row of 12 wins. Did they over, under, or properly achieve in your estimation, Christopher?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they properly achieved. If not anything, I'd almost say maybe. I mean, it's where I was earlier in the year to start the season. I would be lying if I didn't think they overachieved from what my preseason assessment would have been. I didn't think they were going to be as good as they were. They lost Randy Gregory. You worried about how that was going to work. A few other people in free agency where, yeah, I just wondered. I did. So as far as I'm going to say overachieved I think that's going to be my final answer. I think it's slightly overachieved for what I expected at least to start the season.
They overachieved in light of their expectations that were down because of their own failure to manage the offseason.
Yeah, right.
They should have kept Randy Gregory. They should have kept Amari Cooper. They dug a hole for themselves coming off of 12-5 last year, and they did a good job of scrambling out of it. So, yeah, they overachieved, but the problem is it feels like they underachieved because in the midst of a great season, the bar goes up.
Yeah.
And it's how about them Cowboys?
Right,
and
right.
Jerry Jones gets all intoxicated on the possibilities. And now here we are, still one more year removed from their last NFC Championship game appearance in 1995. Buffalo Bills. This one's easy. They underachieved. Everybody had them in the Super Bowl. Wire-to-wire Super Bowl champions in the betting markets. Josh Allen, wire-to-wire, not wire-to-wire, but at least all off-season and deep into the regular season, MVP favorite. They were not the team that everyone expected them to be. And I said back in August, we talked about it at length, are they going to feel the weight of those expectations? Is it going to affect them this year? And I feel like at some level it did.
Yeah, I don't disagree, especially with all the other stuff that went on and on their organization that even put more weight and pressure on their shoulders. I'm with you. I'm going to go underachieve, but it's slightly underachieving. I didn't think they would get to the Super Bowl. I didn't. Mike, I think I was pretty fair all year and going, I still think they're missing a stud or two on both sides of the ball, right? I always felt like that. Now, I thought they'd be in the AFC Championship game. I'm not going to lie about that, right? But, yeah, I hear you. I think, we didn't expect them. They underachieved. We didn't expect them to lose in the divisional playoff game and didn't expect them to get dominated at home. That's where I think it becomes an underachievement. I think we all could have swallowed this a little easier if we went, all right, damn, yeah, Burrow and the Bengals beat them 27-24. Okay, damn, they're Joe Burrow and the Bengals. They're good. But it was a butt whooping. That's what I think we look at and go, whoa, they're not in the Super Bowl class yet. And, a Von Miller injury, no Daquan Jones, Jordan Phillips playing with a torn rotator cuff. Those things hurt their football team, but I'm with you. I'm going underachieve as well.
Now, what I'm going to do for the last two, because we're going to say both the Giants and the Jaguars grossly overachieved.
Exactly.
Nobody expected them to be in the playoffs, right? Nobody expected them to be in the divisional round. Not only did they overachieve to get there, they overachieved by winning in the divisional round. Even though the Jaguars had a home game, they were that bad 4 seed that should have lost to a really good 5
We
seed.
picked them, Mike. We picked the Jaguars.
When?
We picked the Jaguars to beat
the
the Chargers.
Okay.
Yeah.
By then we had figured it out. We had gotten on to the Jaguars bandwagon. Let me spin this forward.
Yeah.
Which team should have the higher expectations for 2023? Because now we're all caught up in the future. We're going to assume that every team that had a great season is going to have another one, and we know that that's false because half the teams that made the playoffs get bounced the next year. Which of these two teams has staying power, the Jaguars or the Giants?
The Jaguars more as it stands right now. The Jaguars, I think we both agree here. They got talent and young talent that's impressive. Let alone they look the part, and they got a quarterback that has entered the, elite top 5 quarterback in football conversation. So that's where I look at it. And then they got Calvin Ridley coming in the offseason too. I mean, we've forgotten about that. Whoa, so they got that as well. I think they're the team. The Giants, it's still, I still sit here and go, I don't know how the hell they got here. I really don't. It's because of coaching. I don't think they can replicate this again. Another year where teams will study them, people in the NFC East will study them. I don't think Saquon up the middle and Daniel Jones scrambling and keeping it on read options is going to be enough to win them games again. So that's where I look at the Giants and go, yeah, they got to spend some money in free agency this year. We got to get a big-time receiver. They got to get a big-time shutdown corner. They got to get some linebackers. I mean, the Giants' 2 middle linebackers were like on the street for most of the year, and they were starting in a playoff game. It's insane. So I do think the Jaguars are clearly better set up.
Well, and they're in a weaker division.
That too, right.
But next year they get the first place schedule, which means they have the Chiefs and the 49ers in addition to their rotation of all teams from the NFC South and all teams from the AFC North. By virtue of the fact they won the division, they get Chiefs and 49ers next year. So we'll get a measuring stick as to where the Jaguars are. But I agree with you. I feel like the Jaguars, by virtue of the talent, are in a better position to parlay what they did this year into something good next year. But I also think the Giants with Brian Daboll will find a way to just keep scrapping and winning and working on becoming more talented and maybe laying the foundation for something better in the future. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.